I was not trying to watch Power Rangers. My kids asked me if they could put something on while I worked. I opened Prime and Green with Evil was sitting there like a little movie, so I hit play and went back to work. But it would not let me ignore it. My attention kept getting pulled back, not out of nostalgia, but out of curiosity. I looked over at my kids, and they were as locked in as I was. And that is when I remembered why this arc worked and why it still works. Green with Evil is not just a cool new character showing up. It is a disruption. It breaks the normal flow of Power Rangers, and when you break the rules, you open the world. You open the story. You open possibilities the show did not have before. So I want to walk through the specific ways Green with Evil disrupts Power Rangers and why that disruption is what made it legendary. Before Tommy, Power Rangers had a stable rhythm. Before this arc, the show had a rhythm you could trust. Rita shows up, she sends putties, she sends a monster, they defeat the monster, she makes the monster grow, the Rangers fight it in the Megazord, then they win. It could get silly, it could get hectic, but the world still felt stable. The Rangers felt like a solid team. The machine worked. Green with Evil disrupts that stability on purpose. And that is disruption number 1. The rhythm breaks. The arc introduces an outsider who matters as a person. The first move is brilliant. It is not Ranger stuff, it is character stuff. We meet Tommy as a human being first, at a martial arts tournament with Tommy versus Jason. Suddenly, we're watching two people with real presence and real skill. Even if you are coming in cold, you immediately understand or get a sense of who Jason is. And you immediately understand that Tommy can match him. That means the conflict is not just colors on suits. It is Jason and Tommy. The great thing, too, is that by the end of the match, they have a respect for each other, and I think that does a lot for the audience, too, to have an understanding of who they are, what their dynamic could be, and kind of what we should feel about them. That is disruption number 2. The show gets personal. Rita stops feeling harmless. Then the real disruption starts. Rita watches the fight and decides, this is my guy. That alone changes the vibe, because now Rita is not just throwing monsters at a wall. She is making a smart move. She sets a trap. She strikes at the right moment, and she turns Tommy into a weapon. That is disruption number 3. Rita starts stacking real wins. What I like too about this is we get to see Tommy have this fight with the putties and prove himself once, then he's taken, and she keeps making him prove himself. So it's almost like a villain story origin where we get to see this guy going through his own journey and having his own trials that he keeps passing, and that solidifies it. And I think it makes it cooler. It makes him even cooler than he was before, and it raises the stakes. So now the show breaks the rule of 5. This is the big one. We did not know there could be more than 5 Rangers. The show trained you and me to believe that the team was complete. Why would Zordon pick only 5 people if there were more than 5 powers, right? Suddenly, a 6th Ranger exists. Even if you do not know the lore, you feel the shift. The system is not closed. The world is bigger than you thought. That is disruption number 4. The team concept breaks open. Next, the power coin creates mythology and history. And here's the part that still hits. Rita has a power coin. That raises questions the show did not have before. Why does she have one? Where did it come from? What does that imply about the past? Does that mean Zordon and Rita have history deeper than what we thought? We know there's something there because Zordon's familiar with her, but how deep does it go? Does that mean that there were other Rangers before, other battles, other losses? That is disruption number 5. The world suddenly has a much deeper past than we had realized. The command center is no longer sacred. And then Tommy walks into the command center. He shuts Alpha down. Zordon is helpless. Just sit with that for a second. For a kid, the command center feels like a safe place. It is the home base. It is the one place Rita cannot touch. And Green with Evil says, no, even this is vulnerable. That is disruption number 6. The safe place is not safe. This next one is a real big one, I think. A Power Ranger becomes the threat. Now the show does something that is simple but powerful. The threat is not a monster. The threat is a Power Ranger. The threat is a person. That changes everything. It means the power itself can be dangerous. It means the heroes could be turned. It means the thing you trust can become the thing you fear. That is disruption number 7. The hero archetype flips. I think that also ties into Zordon's rules of not escalating the fight, not using the power for personal gain. We know it can be abused, but we've never seen it be abused. And Tommy isn't consciously abusing it, but he's being forced to because he's, forcibly been made evil. But if the others went bad, that'd be bad news for everybody. And we get to see that somebody with that power can make the Rangers lose. They're getting defeated. And because of all that, the fights stop feeling routine. Tommy he's already messed with the command center. And now we can see that he can, and Alpha, and now he can mess with the Zords. They've been compromised. Jason can be isolated. He's tricked, he's fooled, and taken away. He's taken off the board for a while. Even if you know the show is for kids, the framing makes the danger feel real. This is the first time the series really convinces you that the Rangers could lose, and not just a small defeat, but like a big loss. Like they could lose the whole thing. This is disruption number 8. Defeat becomes possible. It's good stuff. I'm just getting excited thinking about it and talking about it again. Anyway, this is why Green with Evil sticks. Not because it's louder, not because it's bigger, but because it breaks the rules of the world and forces the story to expand. Disruption elevates the arc, and it elevates everything around it. It makes Power Rangers feel less like a loop and more like a universe. Green with Evil reminded me why these stories stick. Not because they escalate, but because they disrupt. If you want more reflections like this on transforming heroes, identity, and why these stories matter, subscribe. And I want to hear from you. What moment first disrupted your idea of what these shows could do and what they could be? What did you think of Green with Evil when you saw it? Whether that was a long time ago or recently? Let me know in the comments because I genuinely want to read what your thoughts are, what your feelings were about this. Thanks for watching. This is MJ with Henshin Reflection signing out.